I'm Paul Hackett.
And I'm Kevin Costello.
We're with TheCritics.tv.
And we'll be reviewing American Gangster.
American Gangster is the latest collaboration between director Ridley Scott and Academy Award-winning writer Zallian. This movie takes place in 1970s Manhattan as a new drug empire comes to power.
It chronicles the rise and fall of gangster Frank Lucas, is played by Denzel Washington, and also the straight-laced cop Richie Roberts is played by Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, of course, looking to take down not only Lucas, but also the entire New York City Police Department that's become corrupt during the times.
Now, that might seem like a simple synopsis, but there's a lot of details to keep track in this movie. There's constantly new characters, and when you watch the build-up of this drug empire, there's a lot of things you're going to have to remember. So, pay attention or you're going to get left behind.
And I like this. I don't necessarily think you're going to get left behind, but you definitely want to, keep watching this movie. You don't want to ever zone out. There's a lot to this movie, running in about 2.5 hours, but I don't think that that's excessive, and I think that...
Well, you know what, I'm going to say at 153 minutes, there are some parts of this movie that drag and seem a little less necessary than others.
Well, I don't know. I felt the pacing was really good because the way I view it, it's kind of like a chess match. You're watching these pieces get set up, you're getting introduced, you're watching them get set up, and you're waiting for that inevitable conclusion that when it happens, it really pays off, and you know that, somebody's going to get checkmated.
Well, that owes a lot to writer Zallian in this movie. I don't know if this compares to some of his other work like Gangs of New York or Schindler's List, but it is definitely a good movie.
Yeah, I think actually this is probably the best movie I've seen in 2007.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's really nice. And, one of the great parts that makes it such a good movie has to be Denzel Washington's performance. Because, you can't talk about a Denzel movie without talking about Denzel.
Well, to nobody's great surprise, Denzel does another great job in this movie. But, how many movies has Denzel screwed up?
Yeah, that's true. And, but when you're looking at this movie, I think he really does an exemplary job. He's playing this gangster, Frank Lucas, who at the end of the day, he's a villain. He's a gangster. But he plays it in such a way that you understand this character, you believe this character, you understand his motivations, and he plays it so that you don't necessarily sympathize with him. He's a bad guy,
It'd be hard to sympathize with somebody who's shooting people dead in the street and, beating people over the head with pianos. But at the same time, it's Denzel.
Beat a guy with a piano, but he's still likable. That's what's so great. With a piano. But, I think he does a great job. He really outshines the rest of the cast, which probably isn't so good for Russell Crowe, who's also co-starring in this.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a co-starring role for Russell Crowe in this movie. It feels more like he's part of the supporting staff, and I don't know if that's really his fault, because the character comes through as the last honest cop, trying to do the right thing wherever he can.
Yeah.
But I think it's because the story is less focused on his character, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. I don't know. It comes off where it might just be because of the writing and what he's given. He doesn't necessarily have enough to build off of, because really the focus of this movie and the shining point is Denzel Washington.
Exactly.
I think.
But you know what? Even though Denzel is the main focus of this movie, what separates it from being just a good movie to being a great movie is the talent in the supporting staff. They really all come through because, even if you have a great star doing their best, if they're acting with somebody who's not, pulling off the role, it ends up looking lousy, but that's not a problem here.
Yeah, definitely there's a lot of depth to the supporting cast there.
And the highlight is Chjwetel Ejiofor. He really comes through.
Chihuahua what?
Chjwetel Ejiofor, an actor in the movie you just saw.
What?
He plays Huey.
Oh, that guy! Oh, I love that guy. He's got a real dumb name, though.
We at TheCritics.tv would like to apologize to the entire Ejiofor family for that uncalled for and unwarranted attack on your family history.
Might want to change it. That's all I'm saying.
No, it is a dumb name.
But I think that, going into this again, you're looking at a pedigree movie, and you want to look at Ridley Scott as a director, and, you're going to say Gladiator, Hannibal, Black Hawk Down, all amazing movies. He does a really great job here, but the one thing that I love about him, and only for this movie, really, and this is going to sound really weird, but it's how he tells you what year it is. Because the movie takes place over the course of 5 years, right? 1968 through 1973. But it doesn't do that little, January 1st, 1971 at the bottom of the screen with that Law and Order noise.
I hate that. It always feels so played out and pointless.
Yeah, but the way he does it in this, it's just a black and white TV at the beginning of every year, and it's playing in the background, or maybe it shows up on camera, and it tells you about the events that are going on, and it tells you, or just happens to mention or says on screen what date it is.
An important thing about that, too, is keep track of those because those are all impacting on the plot. Every single one of them is important.
I think that during that time of change, you know, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the rest of the world because that actually has an impact on the plot, which I think is really great, which, again, lends itself to the way that the story is written, the way that they put that together and pasted. So I really think that that's good. But I think that the bottom line of this movie is, you know, go out and see it this weekend. I mean, it's a great start to the Oscar season.
You know what? I'm going to disagree. I don't think this is a movie that you have to see in theaters. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. But if you watch this one, buy it on DVD, or if you're short on cash, you know, you rent it. I don't think you're going to be missing out on anything. I don't think you really need a, you know, big screen experience for this movie.
No, I don't know about that. I think that this is a movie that people are going to be talking about, especially come Academy Awards time. You're really going to be seeing this come up a lot.
You're right. Any members of the Academy that are watching, make sure Friday to go out and get your tickets because you don't want to be out of the loop.
You know, I think I hate you.
I'm Paul Hackett.
And I'm Kevin Costello.
With thecritics.tv.